Durham turned the tables in the race for the LV County Championship title as they came out on top against the leaders Yorkshire, who lost for only the second time in 31 four-day games, going down by 7 wickets in Scarborough. All 3 results were possible at the start of the last day, although the draw was favourite as the home side began on 276 for 1 in their second innings, 23 runs behind, but they lost their overnight batsman quickly to Ben Stokes. After Kane Williamson drove him to Will Smith in the gully on 97, Phil Jakes was caught at the wicket after adding only a single to his overnight 151. It was all a far cry from the previous day when those 2 batsmen had flayed the ball to all parts, eventually putting on 264 for the second wicket. There'd even been talk of setting up a chase for Durham, but now things had to be changed as Johnny Bairstow and Andrew Gale had to first get their side into the lead. They were only 14 ahead when they lost their 4th wicket, Gale edging Jamie Harrison to Michael Richardson to be the 3rd man out in the first hour of the day. But Yorkshire still had plenty of batting to come to get them out of trouble, and Gary Ballance now joined Bairstow in what was always going to be a significant stand. They were able to add 36 runs for the 5th wicket and now just needed to get through to lunch. But 10 minutes before the break, Bairstow on 34 clipped Chris Rushworth to Richardson at mid-wicket, with his side just 50 runs to the good. Adil Rashid then followed straight after lunch in an almost identical fashion, Keaton Jennings with the catch this time. And when Ballance edged the sensational Stokes behind, Phil Mustard clinging on at the second attempt, the home side was 7 down and only 58 runs ahead. Any thoughts of them winning had of course gone, and it was now all about survival. Liam Plunkett would have known the Durham attack as well as anyone, and here was his chance to ruin his former team's day. He took advantage of any hittable deliveries from Scott Borthwick as that lead was extended by 53 runs, Ryan Sidebottom blocking out 61 balls for his 9 at the other end. But Borthwick then wrapped up the innings quickly. He had Sidebottom taken behind, again via a parry. He then found some turn and bounce to have Plunkett taken by Stokes after making 42. And in the leg spinners next over, he had last man Jack Brooks pouched by Paul Collingwood. Yorkshire were all out for 419, and that left Durham a session to get 121 runs to win. They made the worst possible start as Mark Stoneman edged the very first ball of the innings to Williamson. But Borthwick then showed his value as an all-rounder. He has batted well for a large part of this season, a season which his side have enjoyed greatly. They now just needed to finish this game off to close the gap on the leaders to just 5.5 points, with a game in hand against Sussex next week. Indeed, they have to play 3rd place Sussex twice, and they have yet to concede that their own title challenge is over. Borthwick and Jennings were soon wearing down the home attack as they pushed their side closer to the all-important winning line. Not that it was all plain sailing for the 2 left-handers. Jennings was dropped by Ballance in the slips, while there were a few concerted appeals for LBW, probably none better than this one to Borthwick. Borthwick moved on to 49 with a 6 off Rashid, the ball after he'd also struck the leggy for a 4, and his 50 followed off his 61st delivery. So just 39 were wanted when Jennings was brilliantly pouched at short leg by Jakes for 17. But Borthwick motored on, now in the company of Smith. They made sure that time was never going to be an issue as they carried the total beyond 100, and Yorkshire must have accepted by now that the game was lost, something that they've not been used to in the last couple of campaigns. Borthwick, who had a great day, couldn't see his side home though as he was bowled by Rashid for 65. But Stokes, who also enjoyed his day by the seaside, came in, whacked Williamson for a 6, and then cut him for 4 to take his side past their target. Durham had done their job perfectly, in spite of some frustrating moments along the way. It was a huge win for them. Had it gone the other way, Yorkshire would have had one hand on the trophy already. As it is, Durham closed the gap by 20 points, taking the maximum 24 to Yorkshire's 4 here. So now only 5.5 points separate the two, with Durham playing their game in hand next week.